You are listening to selfdiscoveryradio.com with an orchard of wisdom just ready for your picking, filled with illuminating, inspiring stories. Do check out the community and the discovery stores. We are here for you. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another show of Channeling Ascensions. And today it's about channeling kindness for the soul. I am Sarah Troy, my co-host Christina Hill, and her wonderful sidekick, Athela, who is her guide, who may jump into the conversation anywhere along the line, or may not. She might be sit back and listen today. We never know with Athela. Kindness to the soul, that is something that we really kind of, I think, ignore. Well, it's what's kindness? Is it just doing a nice act for someone and saying, I've done my deed for the day? I don't think so. So I've written a little blurb here, as well as Christina and Thela have, and I'm going to read those out to set the tone for the show. We're going to dive more into also what Christina does, because she's not just a beautiful ascension woman, helps you ascend into your own consciousness and awakens your soul and your spirit, but she's a coach, and she channels on Athela, and she does so much more. And one of the days we're going to get her to sing for us as well. That will be a show all on its own. But today it's about a different kind of kindness today, not the kindness of the song. That will come at another time. But this is what I say about kindness. Kindness is a simple act, but it still eludes many. Does kindness come from within first? Can we generally be kind to others who are not being kind towards self, mind, body, heart, spirit, and soul? Kindness is our strength. It is our caring. It is our love. And when we choose to be kind towards one another, then we begin to see the empowerment of love itself. Now, Christina and Athela jump in and say, when we love ourselves, firstly, we are really filling up our own inner love tank to the full line so we can have it to overflow and pour out onto everyone around us as the world and as a whole. How often do we look outside of ourselves to someone else to fill up our inner love tank? We are looking to other people, outside distractions, food, alcohol, money, and some other external form of light to light up our inner selves. The way to move forward beyond dependency of external people, situations, and stuff is to make you happy, to find out what makes you joyful. Find your sweet spot and then spend time every day doing that. And that's from Christina and Athela. Wise words from all three of us, I think. Don't you, Christina?
Oh, beautiful words, and also living it, right? So we go out and we live it. This is living truth here, people. It's not just the words. It's actually, I feel it. The power behind these words are coming from souls that are out there living it. And everyone who's listening to this, you've got that capacity too, and you probably are already doing that in your life. A lot of people who listen to our Channeling Ascension show, they're ready for the 5D, they're living 5D. It's part of their daily routine, that they're looking at their loving kindness towards self and their own self-care every day. So this is kind of, I think the show is to augment that. If you're already in that wavelength, you're already practicing loving care, loving kindness to self every day, you know what that looks like, and you're doing that, and therefore you're pouring that out to others, and you're generating this high frequency, and you're committed to staying in this high frequency. So yeah, I think that these words, as poetic, beautiful, and musical even as they come across, because Sarah, when you read them, I feel like I'm listening to a song.
You don't want to hear me sing.
I do. But like taking these words, because everybody's talking about consciousness and awakening and embracing your knowingness. All these words and concepts, we're talking about them on an intellectual level. But this series, this show is really about taking those words and actually putting them in your body, putting them into the cells of your body, into your soul, and living from that. living from that knowingness. Don't you think, Sarah?
100%. And as you pointed out, these shows of the people that are already transcendent of the fourth and are in their fifth dimension. It is for those that have already immersed themselves. And, it's that love and support. We keep filling up their tank every week with a general perspective, a little nudge or sometimes a little reminder of where they need to be, because they can get overwhelmed by things as well. And maybe a little insight that they haven't yet seen. And kindness is one of those things that we throw the word around, but I don't think it's the word we need to focus on. It's the act of kindness that I think we need to focus on, because the act of kindness can come in so many ways. A simple smile as you're walking down the street and passing someone. Good morning, good afternoon, lovely day, isn't it? People don't think that is kindness, but in a sense it is. It's acknowledgement that person exists, and it's a sending of good vibrations. And that tiny little snapshot of divine energy can be a very big difference in someone's life. It could be something that's filling their tank or making them feel they're seen or they're heard. We walk around with our heads buried, on the ground or on the phone or listening to something. How about we acknowledge what and who is around us and try interacting?
This reminds me, I have someone I know who's close to me, is from a different country and has spent quite a bit of time in Europe and world traveled. And some feedback that I received from that person a while ago was that, you have these chit-chat moments, the small talk moments with strangers or people you might know, and it all starts out with this greeting like, good morning, hi, hi, how are you? And that it seems disingenuous. And the feedback that I got was, do you really mean that? Or is that coming from a place of just cultural conditioning? Are we just saying things for saying things? Are we putting that smile on our face and really the pain body of the ego's coming up and it's like, I really don't want to be looking at you. I really don't want to be talking to you right now. But I'm going to say and be polite and say, hello. I think these are the fine little lines. These are the fine little lines that we can explore to even as we're greeting someone, to really bring a conscious awareness to that and really mean it. If it's from a place of authenticity, if you're authentically there and you're genuinely delighted and in presence with yourself first, and then with the other person, you're sharing that exchange of energy, or you just have the intention of, everyone I meet today, I'm going to create a wave of peace to everyone I meet today. I'm going to create more love and joy and peace. If you have that, even for a second, you visualize that peace, that love going out, then it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, if you're saying hello, good morning, good evening. Those are the words, right?
Yeah.
But people will feel the energy behind that, and your intention is all that matters. And it's like, so we don't have to really say cultural conditioning or whatever. We can actually just let the words be. We know that the words are not, they're not gonna encapsulate the energy itself. But at least for now, we're still not at a point where we're communicating telepathically all the time. So at least when you do have that good morning, good afternoon, or exchange with even a stranger, it's really about your focused intent. What do you think about that, Sarah?
Oh, well, especially when I lived in Toronto, I was busing. When I was in lived in the mainland, Lower Vancouver, I'd be driving. So when you're busing, I'm constantly getting lost, going on the wrong way, and would ask people, and most people would jump at the fact of being able to help someone else. So many people they're just back and forth, and nobody talks to each other. They're on their phones. It's the end of the day, or they're going to work, and here's somebody chatting with them and laughing. I've done it again. I'm going the wrong way. Can you help me out? And they. There starts a conversation. Or you're sitting on the bus and saying, gosh, another snowstorm. How come every time I wear this coat, the snow falls? And it's, well, stop wearing that coat. And, we don't realize that simple interaction. And then people say to me, people talk to you on the bus? And I go, yes, but you've got to start it. Make a comment. Not everybody's going to engage, but make a comment. I'm standing outside the ferry terminal the other day waiting for a bus to take me into town, and there was a snowstorm. And so all the buses were late, and we're standing out there in the freezing cold with these, snowflakes coming on. And so I just start saying, news at 9, frozen ferry workers, we're ferry bus, we're foring them out now. And it got people laughing and just loosening up. And it's like, why are we so scared to just put ourselves out there? Because that laughter or that loosening something up is taking somebody out of that moment of anxiety or worry or whatever and just having a little laugh,
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And that's a real big yes to life. I guess it poses a question. Are you open to life or are you shut down? Mm-hmm. Are you open to being, to stepping into your knowingness, as Sarah calls it, or just to being in the presence with others? If you're open, then you'll be willing to take even that very, very tiny, and for those of you who are, the social interaction is not your forte. I mean, I can say I can count myself in one of those. It's like it's total strangers around you, and it's like that one small step or that one piece of conscious presence that leads to a comment. Like Sarah, it's so gloriously, like comedy at its best is in the moment. It's fresh, it's real. It's like, let's keep it real. And I mean, if you're open to that and you can just take that one little step, people respond so positively to you. And then you've just generated a heap full of love with just a small little, and I think that's the difference. And I'm going back to culture again, but, I know in American culture, there's a lot of fear.
Yes.
A lot of fear in cultural situations, in social situations, and intergenerationally, really, where people are feeling like they can't, they're shut off, they can't open up, or they have to have there's these social customs that must be followed. And I don't know, all this kind of stuff, it's literally, it comes from childhood. It's a bunch of brainwashing that you don't need. When you could really just be like very real, and you could step out of your comfort zone just a tiny bit and interact with another human being. This is so important with our electronic age. Do what Othello says and just put your phone away and be around other beings. And then allow whatever, it may seem silly, but it may be just a comment about the snowflakes, as you said, Sarah, or just whatever's happening in the moment, but that you allow it to flow and it connects you to other people. And then you're reaching out, you're connecting to love, and then there's no possibility for you to feel cut off or for you to feel in fear, because you start to remember, oh yeah, this is my tribe. These humans, I'm part of the tribe,
We forget that. We're all part of each
Feels
other.
good.
Yeah, I mean, I love, one of my favorite things is, go for a walk, stop at a coffee bar, and interact with people. And, especially when the weather is nice, sitting outside, and of course, if a dog comes along, I'm a goner.
Dog.
There's a dog.
That's it.
That's it. Forget the human being. The dog and I are having a conversation, which of course then leads to the human being conversation. But it's like, why are you going out if all you want to do is be on your apparatus and just switch off from the human beings? You can do that at home. Come out, put things down, engage, eye contact, a smile, a comment about the weather, and see where it goes. I have met some of the most awesome people from simply being willing to talk. And, a disclaimer here, I've grown up incredibly shy. People perceive me as an extrovert. I'm quite introverted. But it's something that I've had conditioned myself to do, and now just simply do, because I'm no longer in fear of it. But we've got to get over that hump first of, it's the same thing with kind acts. Somebody drops a bag. Do you go and help them, or are they going to tell you to piss off? Well, if they tell you to piss off, then okay, right? But don't assume they're going to. Go and help. Because when I fell down in the street on New Year's Eve, right in the middle of the street in front of a cab and waiting for the green light, and I don't think he saw me, so he would have been running all over me. A young man dashed to my help to help me up, and that act of kindness probably saved my life.
Wow.
So don't ever underestimate those little acts of kindness. And, whatever the reaction back from the people, don't take it personally, but step up. You
Yes.
see it all the time of people walking by. Don't walk by. Please don't walk by.
Turning our attention inward just for a moment is when we're kind to ourselves. This is really what it boils down to. This show today is really about you. It's about you on the inside. Because if you're angry, pissed off, judgmental, if you've got some violence in the head towards yourself, and you can't even like yourself or be nice to yourself, how in the hell are you going to be nice to anybody else?
Right.
If you can't throw yourself a freaking lifeline and save yourself from yourself, then how are you going to do that with someone? Well, we've seen that actually. We've seen people who, like prison inmates, saving someone at the critical moment, right? Or these situations where the odds are just stacked against this person. The dog goes into the fiery building, drags out the human. I mean, these incredible things. So it is possible to go out and just pour love and kindness out to the world, even if you still don't have it completely cultivated within yourself. However, it would be, I think, so much more kind and loving if you start with yourself first, and it gives you that confidence, that gentle, loving care that you need. Gives your inner child the food that it needs. And you fill up yourself first, and then it's just a natural side effect and a bonus, really, that you go out and you pour that out to other people, and you'll start to find, situations where someone's falling in the street or someone's dropped their bag or whatever, and you're there in those moments. Incredible how life does that.
Yeah.
Life will line up situations for you to take your love and to give it to others, because life knows when you're ready. Life will give you those chances, and
it's the
it's like
invitation,
Dave Matthews
isn't it?
Band. Yes, yeah, and Dave Matthews Band has a great song about take these chances. Take them, seize the chance, even if it's the smallest little wink or you smile, and it's nobody else. It's not your business how anyone responds to you, but you're doing it for you, and it generates. It's funny, it generates more self-love when you give the love. Then you've got more to give to yourself, and the wheel just keeps on churning.
Yeah.
So it's really cool the way this all works out. I feel like this show is going to fall on ears that just need to know this stuff, to be reminded, and then to probably after listening, we'll go out to the coffee shops or go out to the park, find the dog, right? And start there.
Yes.
Start there, right?
But a lot of people that listen to us are already some form of caregivers or coaches. And one of the things they forget is you're out there helping everyone else, but what are you doing for you? Where's that kindness towards you? Is that, I couldn't help that person. Oh, I didn't have time in the day to do that. You're not meant to be out there saving everybody. You're not meant to be out there doing more than what you should be doing. If you are not there replenishing and loving and being kind to you, how can you have that energy and exuberance to go and be kind to other people? People don't understand. This is not being selfish. This is self-worth. This is self-value. This is fulfillment. Because if you're not in your own abundance, how can your cup runneth over?
Yes. Oh, I just love this channeling right here. Sarah channels so magnificently. It's magnificent energy. Truly, truly, for the helpers, the healers, the leaders, you need it the most.
Yeah. You're spending it the most, so yes, you need it
totally.
the most. Yeah.
Yeah, and the expansion grows. It's honestly the most selfless state is the care of self. It expands your reach. And if you're finding you're hitting a plateau there, or you're looking at life in general, taking stock, and something is missing, the wheel has kind of gotten clogged, I would say immediately look to the self-care, look to your self-value, your own tank. Is it empty? Is it kind of like halfway there? how many compromises are you taking
Yeah.
on yourself so that you can then go out and help others, or, and everybody's busy. I mean, I hear that a lot. We see that a lot. Everybody's got tons of stuff going on all the time. And, it's like Tony Robbins. I saw a video of him the other day saying, if you don't have 10 minutes for your life, then you don't have a life.
Right.
So there's a lot of truth
Yeah.
to that. So if you can at least get in that self-care, and it moves beyond just going to the gym. It moves beyond just going to the yoga class. Those things are wonderful, but really we're talking about your soul.
Yes.
Like at a soul level, what fulfills you on the soul level? What's it going to take for you to fill up your tank every day? And maybe this is just a really good priming moment for taking out a sheet of paper right now and kind of like listing a few things that maybe you haven't thought of before, but now are coming to you as you're listening to this. Things that fill up your soul. Not necessarily, though, things that you should be doing. Things that you've been doing for a while now to take care of yourself, or that it would call your self-care routine. But move a step beyond that. Go beyond that and actually find something that makes your heart zing.
Yes.
Feel that. Yeah, like zing.
The thing is, we've all got something that makes our soul smile. We've all got something that brings that breath of peace, that moment of just, transcendence, and, that ascension into our divine presence. And we deny that because of duty.
Yes.
I've been there, I've done that, I spent myself over and over again. And, I refer to it as servitude rather than service. When you're in service, you have to have something to be able to give. And when you become a servant, there is nothing else to give anymore. It's all just take. You have to go and find those moments of your own silence, your own sanctuary. Because that's where you feel the soul and the spirit. And, for me,
Yes.
I'm sure for you, singing is a great deal of it. And, for me, music is definitely one of those things that just gets into my soul and my spirit and resets me and sets me free.
Yes.
So we owe it to ourselves to know what is it. And, what is it soaking in the bathtub with the bubbles? What is it that makes you feel utterly free of body, mind, and everything, but just in soul and in spirit? Because that fortitude in that time will carry you so far. But if you deny yourself it, you are going to be running constantly on empty.
Running on the fumes.
Mm-hmm.
We're not over romanticizing this here either, folks.
Oh, no.
I think
Been
this
there,
is
done that,
really,
right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's getting very real, and there comes a time too. If let's just say you have your own practice, you're a coach, you're leading others, where in your leadership you're gonna feel like you've been spent and you're burnt out. And you're gonna come to a place where your desires, the thing that makes your heart zing, it's gonna shift, it's gonna change, and you're gonna reevaluate this and be like, do I really, is this really fulfilling for me, or has it changed? So I want to invite and open the doorway. Like, let's open up all the channels today, because that's all we have is right now. Mm-hmm. Let's open up all the channels. And come to a place where we're front and center, all the chakras are in alignment, we're upright, right? And that flow, and it leads up to the top of the head, a few inches above the head, and then that energy flow can really be clear and cleaned out. And as you're sitting or standing, or you might be watering your plants, or petting your kitty, whatever it is you're doing, but you can do this with your eyes open and just come into your center, your sacred space, and feel your own energy field right now. And I can feel Sarah doing this with me. It is so joyful. It's like the breath takes us there, and we're suspended in this beautiful space.
Tranquility.
Yes. As an offering to the soul, you've decided to hear Sarah and I speak and share in this energy field. We're just gaining the momentum here for an energy field to grow. You're stepping into that, and you're taking a few moments for you. Clearing out, get the garbage out. Clear out all the garbage with your breath. That's it.
There is nothing but the presence.
Yes. Presence speaks. The true you, which is often covered up by hurt or responsibility of the day, or by human chatterbox, the mind. When you remove this, you can find a child sitting next to treasure chest, waiting to play. It is indeed the children within ourselves who wish to come out to play. Observe children and you will see they are unencumbered. They are not weighted down by the responsibilities and thoughts and the past hurts that you adults carry with you. So often you can take off the jacket, the heavy blanket that coats you, and you do that with truth and presence, remaining still, remaining here. No effort is required. You will notice it is effortless. Life is simple. Humans, you have too many thoughts, too many electronics around you, and I feel it is best to take a break every day from these things, this phenomenon, fast, racy mind. When you feel your presence and energy field, you are highly awake and alert, but not engaged in thought, in past, leaping to future. You are vertical. You are open, and all the floodgates are open. Rose is a guide of Sarah's who continuously brings nature and animals, seascapes and winds to the body of Sarah. This is how our guides work. Recognize that you have helpers around you. They are here to guide you to your natural state, your being. Continue to be more often. And whatever is needed to refresh your fountain of love will be provided. It will come to you. You will draw it to you. I love you.
Beautiful wise words from Othello.
Thank you, Adela.
Remind us. I think that is what we need now and again. Remind us. We get so caught up with the expectations and the sense of duty and the things that we need to accomplish, and our lists get longer and longer, and we think that we have to cross them off every day. I would say top three, that's it. Just all you're going to do is accomplish 3 of them today. If you do more, bravo. If you don't even do 3, that's okay. There's tomorrow. We have to pace ourselves. And if we're not in our presence through our life, then that disconnection just makes everything so much harder.
And through modern day living and the pace and flow of our world, modern day living, it does usher us to a pace that is quite fast, right? Quite rapid. And it does, especially, here in America, it is like, it does push us to achieve. You got to plow through this, get it done. The doing rather than the being. And people wonder why are we still taking prescription medications? Why are there mostly, on the whole, people who are walking around who are completely, their bodies are just falling apart, and they're just on the inside, they're just dying, right? Because the beingness has not come to the full fruition of their world. The beingness has been put on hold for vacation time, or whenever we come to think of it, or maybe not at all for some people who are still asleep in the matrix, you might call it.
Yeah.
And so we wonder why this is happening. The real truth is so simple. It's like Othello says, it's simplistic. But we've just got to remember that we are beings. We are beings, and that the doing is like, that's going to handle itself. That's actually external, and life is going to guide you there, and you're safe, and all of that stuff. That's all external forms. That's all that is.
Well,
but the real primary is like the beingness.
Well, the beingness is our divineness. The doing is our humanness.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? We know how to be in our divine presence. We are. It is. It is the human side of us that always needs to be doing. Right? We feel that we constantly have to be in action, achieving and doing something. But we understand we're in the presence of being something that we are already doing.
Mm-hmm. And when we go back to service, and you were talking about ticking off the to-do list, tick, 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 and there's always that propelling forward, that need to achieve. I'm not saying that goal achievement is bad or good or anything else, but it is what it is, and the ego loves to sink its teeth into that get you to a point where you're just like, all the time, do, go, and that's a never-ending rat maze that leads you to nowhere. You may achieve things, and that's the forms again. We're going to the external forms, but at what cost, and who is doing the doing? Like, go back to your true self, the being, as you say, the divine, again and again, and the life flows so much better. It's like Eckhart Tolle was saying, when you don't count on the story to fulfill you, the story actually works out quite nicely on its own.
Yes. But it's, going back to I had 13 things on my list yesterday, and I crossed one off. Yay! I've only got 12 now.
Yes.
And you know what? Right. Part of those 12s, it might be one or two things to do with one thing. And I used to feel, oh gosh, I'm not getting it done. You're trying to force yourself. And now it will be done when it is meant to be done. And the priority in which it will be done is when that priority arises in front of me. It's not for me to dictate what must be done next. What must be done next will come to me. And it will open up those floodgates, and that's when you'll just do. And it's not a chore then. It's a pleasure then. It's creativity then. And you'll get it done so much quicker because you haven't forced it. You haven't demanded it. You have allowed it to happen.
This is where humanity is going. This is the advancement of humans.
Yes.
This is such joyful music. I hope everyone replays this. play it again and again. What Sarah has just said and channeled really is because it's fleeing from her soul. I love that. Is so, so powerful, and it will absolutely radically change the way that you live forevermore, and everyone who comes into contact with you will go, how is she getting all that done?
Exactly.
How is he getting all that done?
Yes.
Yes. You know, and like it doesn't even seem like this person is stressed or like, you know, this person is not intense about it at all. You're actually speeding up, but yet you're slowing down. How does that make sense?
I know.
You know,
That's that paradigm, isn't it?
Right. That's a very big paradigm.
And it makes so much sense when you're in it. You know, it's like, I know that, you know, I had a list. I know I've got to do A, B, and C. And you can't do, well, today I'm going to do that. No, the day will tell you when you're going to do that. Because all of a sudden those floodgates open up and everything you need to know is right there. And it's clickety, 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 click, and boy, it's done. And it was fun. And you weren't stressed out about it. And now you've got energy to even do something else. Yay!
Woo! Oh, yeah. I applaud this so much. That is exactly the way that we can live in this creative state every day.
Mm-hmm.
We live in this creative state every day. That's the way, you know, and for anyone working in a corporate position, share this with your colleagues, share this with your boss. This is the way to get things, quote unquote, done. This is the way that we achieve our goals, and we let life, it's basically, you know, look at your hands right now. Let's do this together. Look at your hands right now and take them and do this little, where you're clapping them together and you're cleaning your hands off, right? It's like you're clearing your hands away from the responsibility, really, of trying to make things happen. Yeah. Like, you have washed your hands of it. So everyone kind of do this with me. Like, okay, I've washed my hands.
You are not in control.
Exactly. It is not your business how things are going to, you know, you put it to life. Life guides and dances through you. You're not going to be able to control. It just doesn't work that way. Life, this power does not work that way. It's beautiful. It feels so much better, too. It's like,
yeah.
We can relax. We can actually relax and enjoy ourselves here.
Well, it's, you know, like the vision for the community came to me, for the self-discovery community came to me before I went to Toronto. And I thought Toronto was where I was going to make it happen. And Toronto ended up being, no, is where I'm going to make you happen. You're going to step into your life. You're going to step into your vibration, your joy. You're going to step outside of your business. But there's nothing wrong with your blueprint, nothing wrong with your plan. But first, it's you before plan. And then it guided me here to Victoria, where there's most a sensational vibration. The amount of people I am meeting, I'm off to another coffee morning, 2 tomorrow. You know, it's all of a sudden the floodgates have opened up, not just of that, but of my creativity. All those chores I thought I had to do are not chores. They've become something that are really inspirational and creative and driving me forth. I know I have to write my book. It's there. It's there. When it's ready for me to actually put fingers to the typewriter, it will then pour out at me. But the thing is, it's don't sweat it, don't force it, just allow. And what comes up is what you're meant to be dealing with right now. Don't worry about the other stuff. It's not its time. It's on the list, or the blueprint is there, and it will happen when it's meant to happen, but there's other things that have to happen first. Go with the flow. Stop trying to walk against the gale. Let it push you forward. Turn around.
That's right. Turn around. Exactly. Get that bad baby turned around. There's something, and on a personal note, I feel the same way. Is like, particularly if you're an entrepreneur, you're in it, you know, to win it, as they say, and on all levels, not just financially, of course, but the outcome being that you're genuinely in this to bring your authenticity, to bring your gifts and your light to the world. But you also have all these responsibilities, things that have to be done. So I identify completely with this, and my advice too is also to say you will know when you're not allowing, because it's not going to feel good.
No,
it's going to suck.
You're forcing it.
And forcing is a really big lesson. Great teacher. I'm bowing to that movement because I've been through that wheel many times. I think a lot of people listening probably as well. You identify with the exhaustion, the mental frustration, and just the forcing energy that gets you really nowhere. So if you're in that mode right now, you can relax and you can just remember your role in all of this. It's like our role in the creative process is to visualize, to get really crystal clear on what we want, right? And we put it up there. We get our bodies nice and relaxed. We do our visioneering exercises, of course, and then we also continue with our meditation, and we take really good care of ourselves. We keep our inner world really peaceful, loving, joyful thoughts, because, of course, the thoughts, they create things. And in the meantime, we're in presence. We're in the present moment. It is none of our business how life is going to go about orchestrating all of it. It's just not. So it's like, excuse me. I mean, life is like saying, come on now. You asked me for this. I'm going to do it. Stay on your side of the court, and I'll stay on mine. And I think when we get that right, when we get that clear, as Sarah was saying, the chore of the day or the task of the day, what needs to be done will come in, and it will arise in your consciousness in that moment. And it'll feel good. It'll feel good.
I think what we have to remember is the divine essence is our partner. And it will, even if we just allow our partner to come in and speak and say, okay, now it's time. Now it's time for you to do this, and now it's time for you to do that, and understand that partner there is the one that is going to guide you, support you, love you, enable you through this. And this is what we need to look at as our divine presence, our beingness, our universe, that divine love is our partner. And when we allow our partner to guide us and stop resisting or dictating and allow our partner to guide us, we'll understand the path that then is before us, and again, we'll go with that flow. Resistance is futile, isn't it? Because all it is, if you're feeling resistance, it means it's the wrong way. That's a very good time.
Exactly right.
Yeah?
Yes.
That's an excellent time to take that very deep breath and stand still and do nothing. This is not the moment to make a decision. This is a moment to pause, take a breath, and ask, which way do I need to go?
Yeah. And we've lived this. So living it, going through it, and then learning from it, and then you're taking a look at your compass, and you're going, which way do I go? Which way do I, and you're in the eye of the storm. Then it's the proper time, it's the perfect time to get quiet and still and to not do anything. Some people, I want to make a point here too. Some people make the mistake of thinking that is apathetic or some sort of denial of life, right? No, no, not at all. I think as children we were taught many things from our caregivers who gave us the best they got. Release that, love them. They were in their level of consciousness and all as well. But I'm just saying here to point that if that comes up in your mind, because ego will be like, you got to be doing something right now. What are you going to do about this? How are you going to figure this out? Something needs to be done. Or if you don't take an action, someone else is going to step in, to your place or whatever it happens to be. That's exactly precisely the kind of thing that requires silence and stillness, calmness of self, and coming back to your divinity. For as many times as that needs to happen, before that gets settled down and you start to disidentify from that story from when you were either a kid or someone told you along the way that you have to constantly be doing and you have to somehow try and figure this out. All of that baloney. It's a bunch of baloney is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's something that when we step away from mind chatter long enough to get still and to let light, which is who we are, to let light come in and to guide us, then it's going to feel so much better. The resistance, you're surrendering to it. You've surrendered to the resistance. You can ask for guidance in those quiet moments too. I think our guides are perfect for that. Source or, everyone calls it something different, whatever you title that. But to ask for guidance in that moment, that is a phenomenal way to live.
And you can't ask for guidance if the chatter is there. So, it's like as we tell you to switch off your apparatuses, switch off your head. Switch off your head. Go to your heart. Go to your soul. Don't think of anything, no thoughts whatsoever. Just step
Yeah.
into your feeling. Calm your soul, calm your stomach, calm your heart. Take those
Right.
breaths, just calm. Completely obliterate everything else and allow yourself to feel the knowledge come up through you. And then there's that sense of knowingness again, allowing the divine to come speak through the soul, to the heart, in that heart resonance, to the spirit, to the mind, what the mind needs to know in that moment it needs to know it. You cannot get to
Yes.
that knowingness if the head is going blah, 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 blah. Tell the head to shut the hell up and go into your heart and soul and listen from the inside out.
Ooh, yes. Yes. For anyone thinking that this is fluffery and come on now, no. This is the
We've
real deal.
this is what we've both done, right? This is one-on-one, baby. We've been there, we've had the head chatter, we've hit our heads against the wall, we've fallen on our
Yep.
asses, we've done it all. And we finally got it together and listened to the universe and realized it was our partner. Stop fighting, start collaborating.
Ooh, this is just so juicy to me. I love this. This is the real deal. And Sarah's so right. She knows. I know. And everyone else. You got your story. You got your experience with that. I hope you're laughing with us too, because we all know beating your head against the wall and getting into those really actually believing what the ego has to say is like it's just futile. It's just
Yeah.
absolutely going to get you nowhere and make it creates insanity in the world. It's why people are, the shootings and everything. The mind will take you so far and drag you down like a river. So it's great if you're practicing these techniques of pause, connection. You're never disconnected at all. It just
Yeah.
gets cloudy in there. But coming back to center, the pause and with the breath and letting the breath flow, and then turning it off. Find your off button, and do those things while you're not, in a state where you need to make a decision, but you're actually doing it every day. I think that is one thing. Sadly, a lot of people listening to this, they know all this stuff. I'll hear this a lot from clients. Hey, Christina, I already know about law of attraction. I already know about everything you talk about, on the radio, and I already know these principles. I mean, I've got it down pat. Or I'm a coach, I'm an author, I know this stuff. But yet they don't go anywhere. Like their life is still in the pits. Or they're
Yeah.
unable to manifest on a certain level, and they've hit that glass ceiling. And I'll just point blank say, have you taken 30 days to go inside and center and be in your meditation in a new way? Try something different. So we have different techniques for this. And do it for 30 days continuously without having a big problem to deal with at the time. But just as your regular practice, 30 consecutive days of presence. You relax every bone in your body. You feel the body. Okay? And you're not thinking. 10, 20 minutes a day. And it's funny, most people cannot commit. They're not disciplined enough to commit to that.
Right.
30 days. And if we did, we'd be in a whole different dimension altogether if we really took that time to come into our knowingness, to step into our divine nature long enough to observe and disidentify with the ego mind. And to put our electronics away, really,
Yeah.
to put all the electronics away that create all that crazy mind energy, put all those things away. And Sarah, what about you? I mean, I know that you have a practice that you do every day, like a ritual that you do every day, but what does your, daily self-care look like? Are you doing something these days that's a little bit different, meditation-wise, or coming into presence every day?
Well, I come into presence every day,
Yes.
and I don't. My meditation isn't one of kind of sitting still or cross-legged or any of that. I couldn't do that. I couldn't get unpretzeled
Very
afterwards.
good.
But
No,
it's.
yeah.
I need a crane to get me up. Help! I've fallen and I can't get up. So it's within your own parameters. But I
Right.
think what it
Right.
is I live a lot in silence. I live a lot in just in even if I'm doing something on the computer, that is the human doing while my presence is off flying somewhere. So it's I make sure that also my arena around me is good energy, good flow, and if I have to remove myself from it, I do. And it's paying attention to absorbing the sunlight and absorbing what's around me, but living in a state of gratitude. The hardest thing for me was to learn self-kindness because it was always about the give, 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 give. You know, if I'm not in service, I
Yes.
don't exist. But it was like, well, what are you in service to yourself for? And I've realized that, and this is something that is new for me right now, is that I have had an online presence now for nearly 6 years. And in the last 5 years, really, really dedicated to this station. And I realized I didn't have too many human presence around me, you know, people I actually physically interact with. And this was
Right.
something I wanted to happen. And I had to come to Victoria to make it happen. And now it's happening to such an extent, like it's my
It's
goodness, you know,
overwhelming.
overwhelming. And it's like, yeah, I'm actually facing humans head on. And, and, yeah, and for a while, I didn't want to be around people. I just didn't want to be physically around people. And now I've stepped
Yes.
into that vibration again. And I think it's because I don't need to meditate to get into my presence. My presence is with me. You know, I allow my presence to lead me now. And you know, you've heard me through stresses and other
I
points.
yes,
But
and you can feel the difference.
oh
I
yes.
want I just want to acknowledge that you can feel a definitive marked difference between the times that you were talking about those cycles you were going through and then now there is a flow, there's an energy flow that you can sense through your light beams, your third eye, you know, your voice, your whole body. You're emanating that. So I can feel the presence. It's something that you can feel. I bet anyone in your presence it's a contagion, right? So you're going to feel their presence and vice versa, and everyone who's in your sphere, your energy sphere, is going to pick up on that.
Right. And it's picking up on two things. One, it's picking up and allowing the conversation to flow. And like the information I'm imparting is what they need to know. Or then you do get the people who then become competitive, have to compete with you. And it's like,
Yes.
we're not in a competition here. If you can't hear
No.
me, then you're not ready for me. That's okay. You're still on
Right.
your journey. And I don't
Yes.
take it personally. And I think that's something that we have to remember. We are going to speak our presence, our truth, our divine essence of what we're here to say. Not everybody is going to hear us. Some people will get defensive, some people will get competitive, some people will be dismissive. That is all right. It's their journey. They cannot yet hear you or feel you. Do not take it personally. Do not try and chase after them. Wish them well and love and move on.
Oh, what you have just said is you know, priceless, priceless. And when you go and you act that way and you live from that, then again, we're talking about freeing up yourself so that you can be loving, kind to yourself first. Just noting when someone else responds to you in a certain way that it has everything to do with them and absolutely nothing to do with you. And then you bless that person. You send love ahead. You kind of pay it forward. Send love ahead to that person, and love and light. And I wish you well. And you actually there's a detachment there from that. There's a detachment even from the end result, and you're just flowing. I mean, from what I hear from you, Sarah, and I've seen. Well, you and I have been together for a while now, and I've seen you grow.
Yes.
It's like there is a piercing flow now.
I've
There's
come
a
into
flow.
being now. I've come into
Exactly.
being. I'm not fighting, as you know before. I
Yes.
always had a huge issue between my human and my beingness. You know, I was a being
Yes.
feeling awkward in my humanness, and now I am feeling that synergy and that partnership of being whole. And it's been a battle for me my entire life, but actually for quite a number of past lives as well. And it's, you know, this lifetime was for me to become that whole again so I could step into my true divine purpose. But it was always that separation before. I'm quite happy at being
Yes.
one now. And,
Yeah.
you know, yesterday I had coffee with a 21-year-old who I had met at a function, and he just kept asking me questions. He said, "I'm just absorbing all of this. I'm just absorbing all of this. I'm willing to
Whoa.
learn." And
Yes.
that's the thing is the people that want, and it's not that I'm so, big guru. No, it's just
No.
I have come into my presence, and my presence has information, and it's got information for people who need to hear it at that time. They need to hear it. What came pouring out of my mouth was no thought whatsoever. No thought. It was just poured out of my mouth what he was looking to hear.
Yes. That's channeling. I mean, if we must call it a word, that's channeling. And when you're in your beingness, don't you find that these moments where light floods, literally the esophagus, your
Yes.
voice box floods through, and the words come out, it just flies right out of you.
It's like you're hearing them for the first time as they come out
Right.
of you. Because you're not
Exactly.
thinking them.
Exactly.
You're acknowledging the words as music. I'm sure when you're singing, the words
Yes.
when you sing in that beautiful rhythm and rhyme and flow have so much more
Right.
meaning sometimes than when we speak. And I understand, why singers are so attached to the singing, because there's a truth in the tonage and within
Yes.
the rhythm of it, whereas sometimes we can't
Yes.
say that in words. That we need to sing the words. But I've noticed now with what you call my channeling, I'm stepping into a totally different vibration and a tone, and I can hear that change. But I have no
Yes.
idea. I don't think about what I'm saying. I have no idea. What comes out of my mouth is just a bigger surprise.
Yes. And we see this. I'm just going to give out a few examples too of just like what Sarah. This is an evolution. I've been with you long enough to see these moments where channels. The channeling system, the mechanism that we all have, all the chakras are in alignment. You're very vertical. The light is there. It comes up through the voice box, and boom.
Yeah.
You're on. You might say on or open, or there's so many different ways to describe it. But there are other people now on the planet that have stepped forward with this very same ability to bring voice to their channeling through words. And it literally, it's not born of thought. There's no thinking going on whatsoever. For example, Jim Carrey is a really good example. And when you see him in public and the things that he says and shares, the channeling happens naturally. And he's standing in his truth and light, and his presence is there. And he's speaking from that.
Yes.
That's very different than coming from an egoic mind standpoint. And another great example too is Eckhart Tolle and Muji and some of these, the Dalai Lama. When you see these people, there is light in the eyes, there is a connectedness, and you can feel this pulsating presence.
Yeah.
It's just everywhere, and the people that are around them, listening to them, if you get on YouTube, you listen to them, you're going to start to feel that, and you're going to copy that, because we as human beings, we connect, we're all connected anyway. Be around more in the frequency of those that are channeling beings, and they're in their presence, and you'll start to, and it's not better than, worse than, like you were saying. That's all ego. It's a bunch of frosted flakes for ego to num 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 num. I'm better than you, and the competition energy, that's all third dimensional stuff. It's like we can just let that go. Come on, everyone, let's be real, and let's really just claim and own our own presence and share that. So Sarah, I'm so joyful. I'm really delighted to hear your coffee meetings. I mean, they're going to go on and on and on, and beautify and go to other places too, conferences and all kinds of things, where you're actually, you're out there now.
Yeah, we've talked about this before about, doing videos, and I'm saying, your beautiful face can go up there. I'm too animated. Well, now I have 2 videos coming up that I've been thrown into, and they're also going to be live on Facebook. One of them is tonight, Tuesday, with Linus Woods on the wellness woman show, and it's like, all of a sudden it's like, you're going to do this, and it's like, what? Because my thing, and it's like, no, sorry, your presence is needed, and it's like, okay.
I knew this. Sarah, I knew this was going to happen as soon as I saw your picture on Facebook recently, and I commented on it. And if you guys know me, I'm really rarely on the internet. I don't go on very often, but I have started to do live streaming myself. I saw your picture, Sarah, and I said, she is going to be interviewed and doing shows, and she's going to be in front of a camera. I know that she is. And I saw that when I looked at your picture, and I made a comment there, and I put beautiful light. The light, I disagree with that statement, by the way. The light through you and through your eyes, through your teeth even, is glorious. You can see the gums are even smiling there. I love all of you, and I think people need to see it, and they can see your channeling light through your face, and I believe that you have this spinning image of light for people to see. So really opening yourself up to that. Life is obviously calling you in that direction. I would like to just say too, and we're on the air now, I'd love to do a sit down with you on live streaming. I know we talked about we're doing Zoom meetings, and we're going to up the ante on this because people are ready for it. People need that, and humans on the whole, there's something very powerful behind the live streaming, the videos, the visual creatures that we are. People really want to feel that and see that energy, and we're going to give it to them.
Yep, we are.
We're doing it.
Means makeup.
Yes.
The Beauty and the Beast, yes.
I raise you and praise you on this because, you're a Cleopatra, or in your former lifetimes, when you're beautifying yourself through beautiful ceremony, makeup, as the Egyptians did, painting their bodies, painting their faces, is nothing more than just a desire for you to be seen. I think the soul wants to be seen, and seen in a very beautiful way. So the makeup and everything else, when people talk about painting themselves, makeup, I think that's great. And you should also know that even without all that stuff, the light shines through, and there's beauty there, and you just own that. I don't think that owning it or anything else, it's time for you to be in the light. It's time for you to step into that.
Well, as I said, the flow is there. The floodgates are opening. So it is. Yes. It is what's going to happen. And again, it goes back to stop fighting it, go with it. It is the human insecurity. The ego insecurity, as opposed to again, there'll be some comments out there, about the age, the this, the that, and that is for people who are not yet ready. I think this is the thing that we have to understand in whatever we're doing. And of course, we're talking to the fifth dimensionals plus, the people that are already in that spiritual and meaningful purpose, is that we are not going to serve everyone. As my byline on the front page is that we're not here to change your mind. We're here to celebrate the minds that have changed. And
I love it.
And that's the thing. Those minds that have changed, you still need support. You still need love. You still need sometimes reminding, and celebrating. And this is why we do what we do. We're doing it to remind you, please love yourself, be kind to yourself, stop spending all your kindness. Remember, you can't give away what you haven't got. So fill yourself up with the love. Fill yourself up with the kindness. Fill yourself up with what you need. Because when you are full, when you are abundant, your cup will run over, and everybody around you will feel the light, right? It's just, there isn't enough juice going to your light bulb, folks. So come on, plug it in.
Yes, that's right. And there's no silliness to it either. Find out if you're one of those people who needs to put their feet in, those fish tanks with the fish and the, if that tickles your fancy, then do that. Yeah. If it's Play-Doh, or if it's just going on a walk, or, maybe you belong to a ladybug club and you study ladybug, whatever it happens to be. Matter. None of it is, it doesn't matter at all. So the ego will tell you that you don't have time, or, you've got responsibilities, commitments, or, I love this one, you can't afford that, or whatever. Just hush that. And look really closely, a little truth serum for everyone. See what really makes you zing, and do that. Life will then provide a way for it to be done. And for your self-care, to follow suit. So you're worth it. Our divine birthright is abundance, and you have an abundance, like millions, more than the stars, of options of how you can choose to love yourself. It's just you have to make a decision. I'm going to do this. I'm doing this. I'm going to give myself the love that I need. Which, by the way, Sarah, I'm glad we brought this up earlier. I think we brought this up earlier about what fills up the tank. If it's something that requires money, that's not necessarily, I don't think that's quote unquote bad. It's not good or bad. However, if you're doing it simply because you want to fill up some sort of gaping hole, through a financial exchange, if it just seems like you're going out and buying something so that when you have that thing, you're going to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the real intent behind that. Like, look at those intentions. However, if that singing bowl or if that yoga mat or whatever is something that really the new dress, and you start to feel light. I mean, you're going to know what that feels like. That is light coming into the body. That intention is set. Then you go out and do it. It's not going to matter if it's $5 or $5,000.
Right.
It's something that you're doing with the intent and the love, the potent love energies coming in. Then for those people who are distinguishing those two things, you'll want to look at that, look at your intentions, find out what is really going to fill you up, and you're worth it. You're worth it.
Yeah, I mean, actually just hitting the point on a wardrobe is that sometimes you've been wearing XYZ clothes, they're still very functional, they're very nice, but all of a sudden you realize that was me yesterday. It doesn't represent me today. And sometimes it's okay, go and treat yourself to a new wardrobe that represents you today. Because otherwise your clothes look ill-fitting. It looks like it's not you, it's a different personality. So if you've stepped into a different vibration and you want something that represents who you are, that accentuates who you are, that is, part of your canvas, it's okay. Go and do it. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Change your hairstyle, whatever. That physical renewal is matching your vibrational renewal, right? And sometimes we need to do that. We have to have them in sync with each other.
Exactly. Step into the new vibrational field that you are. And no qualms about it. Life is obviously asking you, and for you, Sarah, I can see this, I can visualize this. As your appearances are becoming more frequent, you're thinking of doing that. I say go and do it, and look at the colors, even the fabrics.
Oh yeah.
What is clothing your body? What's going on to your body, your hair, and really keep up with the times. Because life loves speed. Universe loves speed. The calm kind of rhythm speed, and everything's constantly moving and changing. So you're not going to remain the same. How could you? You're not. So you're different now. I say purge. Look at things, not just with the clothes, but everything in life is like, what is outdated? Look at my vibration today. What around me in my environment, including maybe some of the acquaintances, the people looking at that. Like, take inventory and then say, okay, I'm going to step into the new, fresh, updated. I'm going to get in real time, now time with myself and get really congruent. I think that's a lot of fun. And what you just highlighted there, I saw a picture of you in a dress now, Sarah.
Oh, yes. And I used to be a person that went for the golds and things like this. Well, I'm turning a silvery white grey now. So, of course, the colours have all changed. It's now a lot more blues and a lot more greys and maybe some soft pinks and and so it's also, the clothes being less restricted and more flowy, and it's something that when you put it on, it matches who you are. And that's something that's really important. It's got to match who you are. Because clothes have a vibration too, right?
They sure do. They sure do. Every, seemingly inanimate object having a frequency. So if you're walking by your refrigerator every day and it's clunkety clunk, but the rest of your home and your business, everything, the people in your life are all at this vibration, which is beautiful, but you're walking by that clunkety clunk refrigerator, get a new refrigerator. Get one that is befitting of your vibration.
Yeah.
And really tune into the vibration that you're in and look at it closely and see if there's any part of your life that's really maybe off kilter and isn't in harmony with your whole collective vibration, then you can upgrade. It's going to feel so joyful. It's going to feel
It
so
feels
joyful to
fresh.
do that.
It feels fresh. You're freshening everything up, and I think this is, we always look forward to spring, coming out of the winter hibernation and going into this freshness of the spring. We could feel the lovely breeze and the sunlight kissing your brow. It's that we can bring spring to ourselves at any time. But, sometimes those seasons are there to remind us to step into it. If we need that physical reminder, and it's be aware of it. I think this is another show we could do actually on living in awareness, because we're so on automation that we're not aware. And right now we've asked you to be aware of kindness, self-kindness, kindness to others, the simple smiles, the simple connection, coming from your heart, not your head. And, I think down the road, definitely, living in awareness is something that where the mind, heart, and soul are all in sync with each other, right?
Yes. Congruency is key. And living in awareness requires reminders. I'll just say from my own perspective, in my own journey, I could not have gotten to this place, to this spiritual plane, we could call it, or dimension, whatever you want to say, without the constant flooding of my consciousness, like a washing, clearing of my consciousness in awareness. Right. And the reminders, the pointers, the reminders are quote-unquote teachers, gurus, mentors, and the recordings, the sounds that you hear through the ears to wash the consciousness so that you're really, really present, aware in your every waking life, in every part of your life. So it's not fragmented anymore. You're actually fully congruent.
In
fully
flow,
congruent.
yes. I mean,
yep.
You've got that drip from the tap, drip, 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 drip in the water. But when you turn the tap on and it flows with the water in the sink, or it starts flowing down the drain, we don't want to be the drip, folks. We want to be the flow.
Right. I love that. Yes.
Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow.
Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Oh, such beautiful water examples are the best, aren't they? Don't you?
Oh, I love it. Yes,
so
well, I'm an air person, but water is so important to me. It's a conduit. It really is. I immerse myself in water, and that vibration, it just is absolutely wonderful. Whether it be in the shower, in a lake, or in an ocean, that water is just something that replenishes you. And but so does the breeze, walking along and a lovely wind gently kissing your brow, running through your hair, letting all the sillies out. It's just wonderful. That's when nature is so divine.
This is so divine. So anyone listening to this, it's like now your calling card. Now you've got to go outside today. Find the breeze. Find a tree to hug, however cheesy it is.
Yes.
Just go hug a freaking tree. And go out for a swim, go out to the lake, go out, find your love in nature and be in that. It's so rejuvenating, great inner house cleaning, and keep your vibration high because nature is where it's at.
Yep.
Totally.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, my dear, let's round this up. We will have another show for them next week. We don't know what yet, so we're going to surprise you. And yes, we will be going into the Zoom, into the videos.
It's a whole new world.
A whole new world.
I love it. I think you can sing. Oh my gosh, you can totally sing. All right, that's what we're doing. We're going to do a duet. We're going to have the Aladdin's lamp and the magic carpet ride for you people. So stay tuned.
Well, my song used to be, "Hey, Big Spender."
Oh, I love that. Spend a little time with me.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun,
dun.
dun, dun. Oh, yeah. I love
Oh, gosh, yes, well, we blew a few minds out there.
so much fun. And so musical, too. You guys are getting the full deal. You get the full package here.
Yeah,
I'm so grateful for these shows. And I'm so grateful to you, Sarah. You're the bomb. You are the real deal. And I'm bowing to you and to everyone listening because it's like real humility here. No one's better than anyone else, but I got to say that I look to Sarah for inspiration, for the real deal, and everyone else, please listen to her shows, listen to this show and our show here, on Ascensions, because this is where it's at. It's the real stuff, and there's real life experience in here. We've lived it, breathed it, sweat, blood, tears, all of it gone into it, and you have the authentic leadership, or just the reminders that you might need, and you got some music thrown into the mix, which makes it a lot of fun.
Yes, exactly. And and it's for me, it's definitely a show where I utterly and completely be my soul self.
Yes.
When with you, we're soul sisters, and so we do soul
Oh, we
talk.
sure are. Yes.
And it's wonderful, because I can just let my soul sillies out, which is great.
You just shake it out. Yeah, we were saying the other day, shake it off, shake it out.
Shake it
Yeah.
off, shake it off. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And sometimes it's the old twist and shout. It's whatever it is that
Yep.
you need to let it go, and then remember, nothing can fill you up if you're already full of shit. So let it out, clean it out, and allow the beautiful substance to come in that's really going to replenish you.
Yes, yes. Empty the cup every day.
Yeah.
And no fluffery needed there. For men who are listening in, this may seem like a lot of feminine energy, but hey, it's very, very practical too. Is like empty your cup and do it with this show. Listen to these shows again and again. That's a way for you to get all the old programming, old garbage out of the mind-body system, fill your soul up, and join us for this ride. It's a fantastic adventure being alive. Such an exciting time to be alive.
Well, we've got so many shows coming up for you. We're going to have ones on money, on how to manifest your wealth, even though you're in a spiritual realm. We're going to have, obviously, a musical one, the musical. Clearly, ones on awareness, and there's so much more coming to you. And of course, folks, if you actually want us to cover a subject, if there's something that you want us to speak to, please just write a comment down at the bottom of the show here on selfdiscoveryradio.com under the channeling shows. Let us know what you would like to hear, and we'll be delighted to bring it to you.
Totally. There are a lot of world topics, world events, because I don't watch the news, and I hope you don't either. So if you have some topic that you've overheard in conversation, and it's come into your awareness, your consciousness, and you want to talk about it, world leaders perhaps, or what's going on in this world, and we'll bring it up, and we're going to hoist it up. We can hoist it up to the highest place, the highest dimension, and we can have spiritual unfolding from there. We can have answers and solutions and all kinds of cool creative energy come out of that. So we'd love to have any topic, on world events or otherwise, to be shared, and we just flow with it. And the open flow is what really makes this show very, very unique. It's unlike any other show you're going to find, and ideally you're channeling with us. As you're listening, you're channeling your energy as well.
You're getting the good vibrations. Now, would you let everybody know how people can get hold of you, please, love?
Absolutely. Through Athela.org. That is the gateway into all that is Athela, which you heard earlier on the show. So I'll spell that for you. ATHELLA.org is an organization where we donate money to help with these charities in Africa. We're helping people get those straws so that they can drink water from anywhere. We also support dolphin and whale conservation because, of course, Athela talks a lot about dolphins as our teachers and whales and these beings that are not from this planet. We hold retreats here in the Yucatan for individuals and families. The Yucatan Peninsula is in Mexico, by the way, just in case anyone doesn't know. And these retreats are literally going to change your life like night and day, and it hits the reset button so that you can actually learn these concepts: presence, manifesting, law of attraction. You can learn about your guides, learn channeling, and all sorts of beautiful things through this amazing nature escape, really, because we're on the Gulf of Mexico. It's absolutely beautiful here. And I also offer coaching and just one-on-one sessions with channeling with Athela and coaching as well. And all of that you can find, again, on Athela.org. I invite anyone who feels like this show has resonated with them on any level. Connect with me and find what, your sweet spot. Find what works for you or what you're needing at this moment. And I'm open to receive any comments, any feedback, or any suggestions for our show, of course. And yeah, back to you, Sarah.
Excellent. Okay, folks, so this is another wonderful show for you and much more to come up. And of course, if you want to get hold of me, it's info@selfdiscoveryradio.com. That's info@selfdiscoveryradio.com. I'll be delighted to hear from you. So, we've had another great one, more great ones to come. We wish you love and light and presence. Be present in your own life. You are your greatest gift. So thank you, Christina. Thank you, Othella. And
Mwah. Thank you, everyone. So much love. I'm in love with all of you. There's so much love energy here from the show. I'm feeling really great. How are you feeling, Sarah? You sound really happy.
I'm vibrating high. I'm about to go out and have coffee with someone. They're not going to know what's hit them.
Woo! That's awesome. You take that energy with you, and everyone else, you take this light energy and you just
zap it.
Glow it. Yes. Zap everyone with light.
Yes, exactly. So, until next time, folks, may you have an exuberant week. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.